A major turning point has once again shaken the Middle East. The United States and Israel launched coordinated airstrikes targeting Iran's nuclear facilities. But what sent shockwaves across the globe wasn't just the strike itself, it was Iran's unprecedented response. For the first time in history, Iran directly targeted a major U.S. military base in Qatar.
الله أكبر تعال مدام
Ballistic missiles rained down on Al Udeid Air Base, the central hub of American military operations in the region. It was a clear signal. Iran would no longer tolerate foreign military aggression on its soil without responding in kind. These attacks were not random acts of retaliation. They were Iran's response to the deployment of US B-2 stealth bombers involved in bombing Iranian nuclear facilities. But Iran didn't stop there. While the world debated the legality of the initial US-Israeli strike, Iran escalated the conflict even further. Multiple missiles were launched toward Israel, including direct hits on Tel Aviv, Israel's beating urban and military heart. One of the explosions occurred near the IDF's Logistics Command Center, sending fire and chaos into the sky. In Beersheba, a missile struck the Soroka Medical Center, causing panic among patients and forcing emergency evacuations to underground shelters. In Haifa and Kiryat Gat, energy infrastructure and industrial plants were hit. Electricity was lost, production halted. Shopping centers in the outskirts of Tel Aviv were also damaged. The death toll currently stands at 24, with more than 2,500 injured, mostly civilians. Entire neighborhoods lie in ruins. Sirens echoed across the nation as Israel faced one of the most intense bombardments in over a decade. This time, Iran made its message loud and clear. In a televised address, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei stated, "We will not remain silent. Every loss we suffer will be paid for in full." Iran emphasized that this was not just revenge, it was a warning. a demonstration that Iran was not only capable of defending itself but ready to launch counteroffensives if provoked. The global response was immediate and intense. The United Nations and the European Union called for an urgent escalation. Russia and China condemned the initial U.S. attack, affirming that Iran had the right to respond militarily. Meanwhile, the U.S. and the U.K. expressed unwavering support for Israel while urging all parties to avoid further escalation. Gulf nations Oman, the UAE and Kuwait issued warnings of economic fallout. The Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most critical oil routes, is now under threat as Iran signals it may block the waterway if attacks continue. And now the world faces a terrifying crossroads. Will this conflict escalate into a full-scale regional war, pulling in neighboring countries and destabilizing the global oil supply? Or will diplomatic pressure bring the violence to a halt, forcing a return to negotiations and avoiding further bloodshed? But make no mistake, diplomacy is no longer a simple option. With cities burning and civilians dead, words alone may not be enough to reverse the damage already done. Despite most of Iran's missiles being intercepted, the strategic intent was undeniable. Iran made it clear, any attack on their sovereignty will be met with force. This is not a symbolic gesture. It is a new chapter in Middle East conflict, one where no target is off limits and retaliation is no longer constrained by borders.